Hi there, and thank you for joining Wind Down Wednesday. By the time this video is edited, it will be Wednesday. It's currently Tuesday, but I just felt that it was so important for me to jump on here and be true to my word of recording a video for Wind Down Wednesday every Wednesday to be published for viewers like yourself. And today I just had the privilege to cast my vote here in the United States. And as I was standing in line to vote, I thought about doing this video and kind of talking about the names that were on the ballot and how I was able to come to the conclusion of voting who I was voting for. So I have to admit that leading up to the elections this year, I have been so busy with all the client demands and all the things that need to happen, being a mom, graduation, like just all of the things, right? And I did not really have time to sit and research every single name that was on the ballot like I usually do, because I do not blindly vote. I vote for people who align with the things that I feel are best for the country, for the city I live in, the state I live in, etc., etc. However, I found myself this time around having to do a bit of a rush to determine who I vote for. And as I was doing the process of elimination of who I would not vote for, one of the things that I did was very quick internet searches of the candidates that fall within each category. So I did spend some time kind of pulling down my list of what my sample ballot would look like to see who would be on my ballot. And what I did do is I did a very quick Google search of all the people that appeared in each category to see what they were about, what they stand for, what is on their agenda, what are who do they know, who's endorsed them, who they are aligning with, and all this other stuff, because I didn't have a lot of time to look at everybody's profile and really spend time like I usually do going through who they are and all the jazzy stuff, right? And as I was standing in line, I was like, geez, I did the very best as quickly as I could in between meetings, in between graduation for my daughter today, to select the right candidates for these roles that are coming up. Like, these people are going to determine what happened next in our state, what happens next in our country. Like, they have very big roles and very big jobs. So I take voting very, very seriously, right? So as I was doing my process of elimination, I thought to myself, geez, look at how cut and dry I am at crossing people off the list, right? And one process that I use to cross people off the list is just looking at, who endorsed them, who were they aligned with, what podcasts, what shows, what interviews, where did they show up? Did they have any content out there that tells me what, it's on their agenda, on their mind, what they're planning to do, not planning to do, just anything, right? And there were so many candidates that had very little to nothing out there about what they really stand for, what they wanted to change, what they wanted to keep, what did they want to do in the term that they would be serving. And I was just kind of taken back by that. And I didn't really understand who was advising these people and who was telling them hey, you have to have some type of content out there about your stuff. What are you doing? What are you planning to do? And then I got to thinking about this is the same type of process of elimination that people are using when evaluating and determining whether they're going to go with an attorney. And it got me to thinking geez, if clients are this cutthroat and just cut and dry about deciding who they're going to get to represent them, and whatever the matter is, whatever the problem is, whatever the legal problem is that they're having, this process of elimination that I did, geez, if I'm doing this for politicians or for people who are going to be serving in these seats for a year or 2 years or whatever the term is that they're going to be in, imagine what they're going to do for the attorney that they're looking for. So it made me go, wow, I need to do a Wind Down Wednesday video about that, to remind attorneys who are watching these videos, who are my clients, or perhaps they're considering signing on with Strategy Academy, is that, you know, you have to have a digital footprint about what you stand for, what your practice is about, what you know, are on a mission to do, like things about you. Because not every client, of course, is going to be a right client for you. That's not what I'm saying. But if I can't align with you and what you're doing, and I can't identify in any way or connect to you in any way, like, I'm just not going to hire you as my attorney. Like, I'm just going to be real honest with you, right? And, you know, no attorney is going to be, you know, the attorney for everybody. That's not the way that this works. But if you have no content out there, nothing that talks about like what you believe, or perhaps what you know, what you do, or what your background is, or how you handle cases, or how you treat customers, or, you know, where you stand in a community, on anything, you are going to get scratched off the list very quickly, very easily, because there's nothing out there that talks about who you are, what you do, what you stand for, who you represent, what your mission is, what your values are, what your culture is. So my advice to you, if you are a viewer of Wind Down Wednesday and you're watching this video and you have no content out there that talks about who you are, what you do, your experience, what you stand for, what you believe, or whatever, you need to get to writing. You need to get to getting content out there, right? Because if I do a quick Google search on you and no information is coming up, there is a very high chance I'm just going to scratch you off the list. Next, move to the next. And unfortunately, this is the reality of the world that we live in right now, that we're all digital. We're looking online. We're thinking about, you know, what does the internet say about a person? And this doesn't even mean that the person's a bad attorney, or, you know, they you know, haven't done great things. But this can cost you, you know, a scratch off on the list because you're not, you know, showing up in the internet world, in the Google world, as somebody that I should even consider. So I just wanted to come on here on this Wind Down Wednesday and mention, if not encourage, if not remind you, that a digital footprint, a digital presence, publishing content online, whatever it may be, about who you are, whatever you want the world to know about you so that you're able to attract those types of clients, this is your reminder that you need to do that. Because without that, you don't really exist. You're not there. You're not even considered. And the fact that your name is showing up might mean that, yeah, you're with some state bar, you're registered with state bar, but it doesn't really mean anything beyond that. You're a lawyer. But the chances of you getting scratched from a list is very high. So if this is a reminder to you and this helps you in any way, great. I'm thrilled. But I just wanted to jump on here and just say that if it's that easy for me to scratch names off my list simply because there's nothing online that tells me about somebody who's running for a seat during the elections, there's no difference when it comes to looking at attorneys that are on a list for whatever matter that the client is trying to resolve. So if this is your sign to create a digital footprint, or perhaps you need to create more content that's fresh and new and it's not outdated, hey, happy that I helped you. But just wanted to share that for this Wind Down Wednesday, and I want to thank you so much for joining, and I hope you have a beautiful rest of your week.